Hola, Vincenzo.
Hola, Lali.
What's this hoodie you're wearing?
Wow, right to the hoodie, huh?
You look like an astronaut a little bit.
This is Malbon.
Malbon, is that like an Alex Albon brand?
No,
What is it?
that would be a fascinating collaboration, Malbon and
By
Albon.
Albon?
No, Malbon is a golf brand, and they
Wait,
collaborate.
wait. Alex Albon's girlfriend is like a professional golf player. I think we just found the ideal
I
collab
think
for
we found
them.
an ideal collaboration. No, it is. This was a collaboration with the Las Vegas Grand Prix. I don't know
La
if you can
la.
see it on the
Yeah, I
camera.
can
See,
see. That's cute. Yeah, love it.
Formula Uno Las Vegas Grand Prix, Gran
Also,
Premio
Malbon,
di
call
Las
us. We have
Vegas.
an idea, right?
What's that?
Malbon needs to call us because I have an idea for them.
They are, yeah, big, huge in the golf lifestyle space. Huge brand. They collaborated. I was at the Grand Prix Plaza over the summer. A Formula One had invited me out. I hung out. I went to the shop. I saw this hoodie. I said, I have to have it. That is incredible. And I have it. It's
And now
beautiful.
you
So
own it.
thank you. Thank you for
It looks
complimenting.
really good. I like it. It's like a little bit astronaut meets like Formula One. I like it.
That's pretty cool.
So
Well,
tell the people
listen,
why today was a very exciting day for us.
to the people out there that are listening to this, welcome back to the Business of Speed podcast. Today we have a special guest on the show that Lali had the opportunity of interviewing and getting to know her a little bit more. I think they're like BFFs now.
We are BFFs. I'm so sorry you've been dumped and replaced because this girl is
It is
fantastic.
what it is. It is what it is. No, we had Laura Villars, Swiss motorsport or racing driver, 28-year-old, first woman to be running for FIA president, which is actually kind of crazy. It's the first that's ever tried to run. There's actually now 2 women that are attempting to run, but Laura was the first. And she's kind of been running this campaign. I don't want to say against, but obviously you're running against somebody else. She's been running a great campaign. She's getting a lot of publicity, and some people are not accusing, and I don't want to use that word either, but people are saying that she's just doing this for the press, and I say good for her if she is, but she's doing a great job of that, getting a lot of attention on things, and I learned a lot from the conversation you had with her. So I guess my question to you is, what was the most fascinating thing you learned in talking to her before we put the episode out and let everyone listen to this? What was the biggest takeaway you had that you want everyone else to take away from that conversation?
So I think that even just when she announced her candidacy for the presidency, already it really stirred something in me because I thought it was so strange that a woman had never even attempted to run. So that got me a little bit into looking into the rules of becoming president and how it works. And I'm almost embarrassed to say that as a lifelong motorsport fan, I was quite unclear on the rules of becoming FIA president. So I did some digging, and if you've ever wondered what happens when, think of it like politics meets like petrol, this is exactly the FIA. It's a bit of a skull and bones, cloak and dagger organization. It's officially meant to be very democratic, and anyone can officially run for president, but unofficially it's impossible. I'd have a better chance of winning the Monaco Grand Prix than being president of the FIA, and that's the reality because they have many rules, but one stickler rule that I'll talk about in the interview, you'll hear that, but that I want to super explain to our listeners because it's why nobody else can really run against the incumbent if the incumbent has support. Each candidate needs to have on the ballot 7 vice presidents. That means there's one from the MENA region, that's the Middle East and North Africa, one from the rest of Africa, one from North America, one from South America, one from Asia Pacific, and 2 from Europe. The problem, for instance, and I speak about this in the interview, is that for South America, for instance, there's only one eligible VP. There's only one VP. In this case, her name is Fabiana Ecclestone. She's 47 years old. She's the wife of Bernie Ecclestone, who happens to be 94 years old. And those are just facts and numbers that I'm
They are
stating
factual.
there.
I will give you that. They are
It's
factual.
actual information that I'm giving you. And she is on Ben Suleiman's team, the current president of the FIA, which means that Laura and Tim and anybody else who would like to run for a FIA president cannot technically run because there is no other VP to be on their team from South America. So that makes the process very frustrating for people like me who didn't know about it and have learned about it. And especially for someone like her who would love to come in, would love to instill some actual genuine change, bring some fresh energy. So if you think about it, between alliances and rules and like these whispered vetoes, and it's really not so much an election, it's more like a coronation with a lot of paperwork and bureaucracy.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a great take overall. And talking to her, I think my main take that I found interesting was if she's more of a politician or a race car driver, and you'll have to listen to find out.
Yeah, I think that was very eye-opening. The FIA is not something I have ever deeply studied, right, and paid attention to. It's the governing body of a bunch of different motorsports series that I enjoy watching, but you don't really think about all the politics behind it. And to hear how, over over the course of the past couple of weeks, because the deadline is coming up in 9 days now. The
And she
24th is
still has hope that somehow in 9 days the FIA will change the rules, which
well,
is
hopefully there's enough commotion, from all of this publicity and press that she's getting. Hopefully there's enough that's being stirred up to, I want to say, change the rule. It's probably not going to happen where the rule is going to be changed, because unfortunately they have to vote on that rule if they do change it or if they make exceptions, and that gets voted on at the same time the president gets elected on the 15th of December. So it's a really, really crazy process, but hopefully it brings to light all of these gaps. The audience that's watching these different series is changing. It continues to change, not just Formula One. There's a FIA, governs a lot of other series. The audience is changing. The people that represent not only those series, but also the governing body need to change over time as well. So what I liked about what Laura said to you, one of the things she'll say, and you'll hear that in the podcast, but she talks about how if it's not now, she plans on going for it in 2029 again. And so hopefully between now and then, there's some things that change and there's a shakeup. We'll have to see how that plays out. But it is quite the campaign for someone to be running. Never mind a 28-year-old of any gender, right? She's 28 years old, is a 28-year-old. That's impressive. And never mind being the first woman going after this and all the hurdles that she has to go through right now to even just to show up on the ballot, right? And it
I
doesn't
asked
look
her.
likely, but she keeps pushing. So it's an interesting conversation, and I like that we were able to get her on the show. So I'm glad that you listeners get to hear Laura and Lali talk about it.
Yeah, listen in, and then we'll have some takeaways at the end. So first of all, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. It's a big deal what you're doing, and we're really excited to have you with us and to get to know you a little bit better, and maybe talk about a little bit of different things. I've read so much about you. I feel I know your life too well. I know too much about you, and I've read a lot of your interviews. So I want to talk maybe a little bit more sort of grounded, realistic things. So one of the things I really am curious about is you're entering a race right now that because you're a very smart person, that you technically can't run it. Like your name cannot be on the ballot. So I'd like to know what the point is of showing up at the starting line. Because it seems like you're actually running a campaign to expose how the presidency is chosen, which I find super intriguing. So I want to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah. So first of all, with my team, we decided to have my candidacy in September, because for us was the right time. We had to build all our program, talking with each president of each clubs. So for us was the right time in September. In September, we had to wait to the World Motorsport Council to announce all the person on the list. It's around 30 people that we knew it like end of September to build the presidential list, because with the presidential list, which is like one president of Senate, one president of sport, and one president of mobility, plus 7 vice presidents that are in this World Motorsport Council list. So when you have built this list, you need to be approved by 18 clubs.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a complicated process, and I'm gonna touch on something that people may not know.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ask you about how democratic you actually think the process is. So, for instance, I'm going to speak only to South America because I'm from South America.
Okay.
I always like to mention I'm from Colombia. It's an ongoing joke on the podcast that I mention I'm from Colombia every chance I can. So to explain to people in very broad terms, to get your name on the ballot, you need to have 7 VPs. So for South America, I'm going to explain this to the people. You know this very well. There's only one VP. Her name is Fabiana Ecclestone. And if that name sounds familiar to people, it's because she's the wife of Bernie Ecclestone, right? So
Yeah.
I think 2 things. If there's only one person from South America who can be on your VP list and you require a VP from South America on your list, does that immediately make the process not democratic? Because it technically means only one person can run. And then a side question to that is, has Fabiana reached out to you? Have you reached out to her? Has there been any communication there? So those are sort of 2 questions.
No, we didn't spoke with Fabiana, and I sent just a nice message to the actual president. He didn't answer me. Yeah, and then right now I'm talking with the FIA to understand how democratic we can be, because actually I'm talking also like with Tim Meyer, and yes, for now we can't not put our candidacy before the 24 October. So we are waiting for a response from the FIA, and we will see what will happen before 24th October.
So I read your manifesto, and a lot of that you want to really bring transparency into the FIA. That was one of your big missions. And so because it really is a little bit opaque, as we say in English, a little bit cloak and daggers, and you've drawn attention to that. I'm curious if any very, very high profile people in the paddock, maybe drivers, team members, have reached out to you and said, hey, I support you. I wish there was a path forward for you. Maybe some names you can share, maybe not, but I'm curious if people have reached out, like important people.
Yeah, they are, but I'm not gonna mention them
No,
to
you
protect them today. But I mean, the most important thing is when I announced my candidacy, everyone was very surprised, but in a very good way, and I received like thousands of many positive comments. So for me, it was super nice. I was I was super happy, and they all support the fact that we need more democracy, and this is part of the first step that I will do in my program. And for now, we are just waiting few response. So I cannot tell you more about it now.
I'm sure. I've just seen anecdotally. I do feel that some of the drivers, they can't say anything specifically against perhaps the current president, but I can see sometimes a little bit of animosity. So I was wondering. I'll move on. So motorsport always says that change has to come from inside the system. And you're a driver, you know that it often does. For instance, we have terrible crashes or even deaths. And what happens? It brings change that makes the sport safer for everyone from within the system. So you're trying to do something really big, which is change the system from inside the system, but it's set up in a way that you can't really get in. So I want to know right now, what is a plan B? What do you consider a win right now?
The win right now is to share all my program and this project that I'm in since few months, and the most important will be to bring this program till the end. And I hope they will take my ideas, and we can continue, because the most important goal at the moment is to develop the programs for the young people, for the women. So for motorsport, this is a very strong thing that we need to do. And on the other side, for the mobility, we need to continue the progress that have been made for the FIA. So the zero road safety. So I want 0 deaths by 2035. We need more sustainability. So we need to see what's going on this year with the new Formula One in 2026 to see with the sustainable gas how we can progress, how we can talk with constructors, and this is things that are part of my program that I want to keep.
And we
And
all really want you to keep.
yeah.
There's a lot of people behind the scenes who are really rooting for you and that are very disappointed. I'm going to ask you sort of a more fun question. I want you to pick one of these two things, okay? You only get to pick one.
Okay.
You get to be FIA president, or you get a full-time drive with a top team in World Endurance Championship like Porsche Penske or Cadillac, and you win the 24 Hours of Le Mans. You can only pick one.
For now, I'm fighting for a FIA president. I will keep this.
Interesting. So I think that leads me to my next one, because this is a bit of a race that we know, we sort of know how this race is going to end. Let's say it that way. You have gotten a lot of press lately. You've become very well known in racing circles. Is this perhaps helping bring in some sponsorships for next year? Maybe there's some big races that you will participate in next year. How has this? Because there are some people who say she knows she can't win. Is this a PR stunt? Right? Of course, like the haters are going to hate at all times. But I'm curious if it's helped your racing career, and I really hope it has drawn attention. So tell us a little bit about the 2026 racing program.
So for myself, I didn't decide yet what I'm gonna do next year, but for sure, what I want to do, and I got, of course, many contacts, many sponsors, many opportunities, and the most important goal for me will be to develop this young academy for young people. So this will be the goal with all the sponsor. We're gonna try to build it, I hope, from next year or the next months. So this will be part of the main program.
So after the elections in December 12th, we have the elections, and so 2026 is more focused on continuing the goals you've set out in your manifesto to help in the FIA more so than racing. And I ask because if you remember earlier in the year, Carlos Sainz Sr. was going to run for FIA president as well, but he removed himself from consideration because he wants to focus on winning another Dakar. And so I'm thinking, I don't know very much, but I'm thinking that doing both at the same time is incompatible, that what you're doing takes a lot of time, and also trying to pursue a very big racing dream it's not compatible to do it at the same time. So you're going to put the racing on the side for a little bit next year?
Yes, if I'm elected, I cannot do both. So I'm gonna put the racing side, on the side. So it's not a problem. I mean, I want to fight on my ideas and my program. So I will be fully focused on it. And sometimes I can still race. This is not a problem, but not fully.
Not fully. I want to tell you something. Until you ran for the presidency, I really had never looked at the rules of what it took, right? So I think that already that in and of itself is a win. You've made people very aware, and you've put a spotlight on something that is a system that is perhaps archaic. Would you say that's the word?
Yeah, I will say this. I will say that this old FIA that is more than 121 years now, that needed a fresh and young like vision, and that's why also for me it was very important to come. I think many people already told me like, wow, we could see it, we could understand more. The program is very interesting, so this is, of course, I'm proud of this, but it shows also to the new generation that when we are focused, we work hard, we can go to somewhere we really want, no matter the age, because it's not a matter of age, but more a fight with yourself and
It's interesting because a lot of people talk about ageism in the back end, like being older, and how older women perhaps don't get a lot of opportunities even though they're very qualified. You're facing a little bit the opposite, ageism because you're too young for some people to do something.
Yeah, I mean, the most important when you are doing something is to have good people around you. I had a big opportunity. That's why I came into this candidacy. I had a good team around me, experimented and older people, and that's why I could go. I'm learning every day from them. We build everything together, and it's a super experience that we did, and I'm super happy to share everything with you, with the public, with the newspapers. Yeah, it's something very important, and I think in life, even when you are president, you have very good people around you that are qualified. And even if I become president of FIA, of course, all the people that work in FIA are there since many years. They have a lot of experience, and I will be there to represent as a president and to talk with them, understand, and work together. This is the main goal.
I think that you've said something very interesting. People don't realize this is a group effort when you're president. It's not you're not the dictator of the FIA. This is not a dictatorship. It's a presidency. She's going to have a team around her. Whoever the president is has an enormous team around them of people who are very experienced in different areas of motorsport. And so the concern perhaps that you're not qualified is a little bit uninformed, because no one who gets a job as a president for the first time of anything has any experience doing that job. It's the first time they're doing it. So you have put together a team. You will be surrounded by people when you become president one day. Hopefully, I'm hoping that 2029 is your year. And I hope you work hard toward that goal, and that you continue to, because there has to be some change. I think that the system has been set up in a way that is very undemocratic and that doesn't even allow for fair competition. That's really something you've drawn attention to. It's like you're not even getting a fair chance to run. Yeah, I know your eyes say it all.
I'm still talking with the FIA to see what will be the chances. So maybe things can change before 24th October, and I really I really hope so.
Oh.
So let's see. But anyway, I will continue for 2029, and yeah, I will keep my program. This is the most important for me.
Will you be at any F1 races coming up in this year?
Yes, will come soon. I will not tell you yet where, but
Oh,
I'm
okay.
coming.
We'll talk off camera to see if we'll be at the same race.
Yeah, exactly.
Laura, thank you so much for stopping by today. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you. You have such a great energy. I really think you're exactly what the FIA needs, a breath of fresh air. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
And I will text you for the next F1 races.
I'll be here.
I think there's a lot to learn from that. And I think there's also a lot to continue building on. One of the things that I really, I guess, I know you and I had mentioned this a little bit earlier about good old boys clubs and whatnot and different things, but she's really confronting this ageism from the opposite side, right? And being told that she's too young,
It's interesting, right? As
too
a
young
woman,
to
because
be a leader.
women, I feel like, and I'm not trying to make this some kumbaya moment for women, but it's funny. We're either too young, too old, too pretty, too ugly, too tall, too short, too skinny, too overweight. It's like, when is it the correct moment? You know, we're too prepared, we're too unprepared. So good on her. And after the interview ended, she and I stayed on for a little bit, and I'm lucky that I speak French. So she and I had a very frank conversation. And she told me, she spoke a little bit about the level of sort of bullying and trolling that she's been receiving. And it's completely unfair that we live in this society where she's just trying to do a good thing. There's no ill will behind her run. She doesn't want to do it to screw it up. She's doing it with the best of intentions and wanting to genuinely bring in some new insights, new energy, a youthful, ambiance in general to the organization. But she's been heavily trolled, bullied. She's been the recipient of some abuse, which is terrible. And still she says, you know what? Yeah, I'd rather do I couldn't believe when I asked her if she would rather be FIA president or win the 24 Heures du Mans, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, that she would rather be FIA president. I was shocked, but it showed me how passionate she is about it.
You know, to me, that's I want the glory of being a champion. I want to drive the car. I want to drive fast. So for somebody 28 years old, much younger than I am, who is saying, no, I'm actually interested in governing this and being a leader in that regard, that takes, you know, passion. It's a different type of passion, but that takes passion, and that takes a drive to really challenge these entrenched systems. FIA has been around for 120 years, whatever it is. You don't change things by stepping back, right? The only way you can change things is by challenging them, is by pushing forward, making noise. You know, the saying, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. That's at least an American saying. I don't know if other people understand it.
We say it in Colombia too, but it's a little bit more perverse.
It's probably, yeah.
It's about babies and breastfeeding. It's I don't know why, but ours is a little bit more perverse. I like this.
Well, there's also closed mouths don't get fed. There's that saying as well.
I'm going to say ours in Spanish for our Spanish listeners.
Go ahead.
Que no llora no mama, as any Latino will know that. It is interesting to me what you're saying, because you and I are lovers of motorsport. So you and I would take the 24 hours.
To me, that's the glory.
Especially because she currently is racing in sports cars, you know, in Ligier. And so I was very surprised. And nobody had asked her that yet. And I hope that opens some eyes to show her level of commitment toward this, because I dangled the ultimate carrot. This is the ultimate carrot for someone who's in racing, who's in sports car racing. You get a full-time drive, Porsche Penske, full-time drive, Cadillac. You win the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And she still said, no, I choose to be FIA president. That should show her level of commitment. This is not something that she's just done for press. This is something that she's taking very seriously.
Yeah.
And she's going to pursue for the next 4 years and run again in 29.
God bless her. I mean, I'm rooting for her. I always like to root for the underdog. So she is the true underdog in this scenario.
Yeah.
Out of all of the candidates, you know, she is the true underdog. Yeah, I'm glad we got to have her on. It's really cool. Sometimes you see these things from afar and you think, oh my goodness, these people are larger than life. And it's like, no, they're normal people who just want change like the rest of us, right? I mean, she's challenging that status quo like anyone else would. And it's a signal to the younger generation, to other, you know, women and girls, hey, you can make a difference if you want to, or if you want to try, if you want to put it out there, like this is what you have to do. And yeah, I admire her fight, and I admire what she's going through and doing right now. And you know, this is only going to be the first step.
Yep. Thank you everyone for listening in. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Laura Villars. She's fantastic. She promised she'd be on the show in the future. So maybe in 2026, we'll have her again. After the dust is settled with the election, we'll do a little follow-up with her. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Ciao.